Good morning, Ma. Good morning. Welcome to another day of idiocy and tea and all of that other good stuff. Today I am brewing in my Steve teapot, as I like to call it, because I think this is the closest you're ever going to get to the idiot in the shape of a teapot, particularly the handle made from dead wood that in a particular kind of light looks like there's a little eye there. It looks like it's just crying out, "Oh, God, why? If I was a teapot, that's what I would be doing. But then also occasionally brewing up some nice green tea, which some content, in other words, which of course is what I, in my own deluded imagination, like to think these videos are. And they are. I mean, everything's content, but I'm realizing more and more and more that the kind of content that I would love the humans to resonate with, which is probably this. In other words, me just being a human idiot, is not, of course, the content that humans want, because we are now massively spoiled. We have millions and millions of incredibly charming, interesting, intelligent, sexy content creators vying for our limited attention on a daily basis. And so, sorry, idiot, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work hard if you want our eyeballs, if you want our likes and subscriptions. And you're not only going to have to work for it, but you're also going to deliver. You need to deliver content that we like, that we appreciate. And you reciting a poem to your mother every morning and then talking about it and talking about whatever is on your mind, well, maybe that's not gonna do it for us. And I guess that's okay. I mean, I've realized recently that I've been putting all of my new videos on this secret, hidden playlist. Why? Why? Why am I hiding, as it were, from myself on this extrusion of stuff that is Idiotville? Because there are, apart from you, there are maybe 2 or 3 people who know me, and by know me, I mean people who I might have some kind of interaction with via virtual means. But I mean, these aren't people who know me as an embodied, living, breathing, dying human animal like they are. We don't live in that realm anymore with most of the humans. These aren't humans who could in any way do for me as a human animal primate all the things that human, well, not human animal, but at least primate animals have been doing for hundreds of thousands, millions of years, we might even say, which is being a meaningful presence to another, a meaningful living being real to each other, you know, as real as this object is, this teapot is. Once upon a time, there was the possibility for humans to interact with each other and communicate also through, not just through words, through touch. You know, I was thinking today, I live an existence without any form of touch other than my own hand, other than what it feels like for this hand to hold this hand. I have no human touch, and I have not had any human touch for many years. And that's normal. That's completely normal for many of us. It's very weird. And part of this is sort of this, it's like trying to find a kind of a proxy. It's like trying to touch the other, or trying to be touched by the other through words, through ideas, through expression. But it's always just a proxy. It's always just this sort of virtual stand-in for what we really want and need. But it's better than nothing, so hey ho, off we go. Today's poem, The Many Wines. Today we have been given a wine so dark and so deep that to drink it would take us beyond these two worlds. Today we've been given a substance so sweet that to eat it would deliver us from self-consciousness. Today will end once more with sleep, ending thought, ending feeling, ending each and every craving. Today, Majnun's love for Layla is born, and with it a mere name becomes his salvation. Each and every minute of the day we've been given at least 50 ways to cut loose, to just slip out the back, Jack. Don't think all ecstasies are the same. Jesus was lost in love for his God, his donkey, drunk on barley. Drink from the presence of self, not from jars or scars or quick fixes. Every vessel is a moment of delight. Be a connoisseur, taste with caution. Any wine will get you plastered. Judge wisely, choose the purest, the one unadulterated by, this is where my memory fails me, what is it? The one unadulterated by fear or the four urgent needs of the heart. Drink the wine that moves you as a camel moves when it's finally been untied from its post and gets to just amble about freely. So this is one of the wines I'm drinking today. Some 2024 Longjin Dragonwell green tea. I bought a whole bag of this stuff recently. Where is it? 100 grams, because I really love it. But the problem with green tea is that green tea does not get better as it ages, unfortunately. So the 2024 was really great in the spring of 2024, and it has progressively, although it still tastes magnificent, at least to my taste buds, it has progressively got less and less exciting, which is why, you know, in a month or two, the spring pickings will occur once more in China, and 2025 spring Longjin Dragonwell will be available, which is also why at the moment the 2024 is kind of on sale everywhere, because they're trying to get rid of this old stock. Because once the good stuff comes in, which is the freshest stuff, you know, people are going to want to ditch the old stuff, and we kind of do that with everything. We do that with our electronic gizmos. We do that with people. You know, people and relationships quite often, when they're fresh, they are exciting and novel and tasty. And then as time goes by, those relationships seem to wear on us, or they become, you know, what was initially interesting and different and exciting to our metaphysical taste buds either settles into a sort of comforting, habitual, oh, I like the taste of that, I'll keep you around, or it's like, nah, let's go for some fresh pickings. Such is the idiocy of humanity. Today we've been given a wine so dark and so deep that to drink it would take us beyond these two worlds. I think that's what we're always looking for in our wines, at least I am. And let's just remind ourselves, what are these wines? Tea is one of my wines. Thoughts, ideas, poetry, making these little videos for you or for anyone who will, you know, watch them is a kind of a wine. Food, content, any kind of content, be it written content, visual content, anything like this. And what is it all doing? It's trying to take us beyond the two worlds of our binary, dualistic human experience, because that's where we live, right? We live in the world of pleasure and pain. We live in the world of intelligence and stupidity. We live in the world of kindness and also irascibility or meanness or whatever, right? And we live continuously in those two worlds. And for some of us, for me, that binary world is a place of suffering, because the binaries are incredibly intensely felt. The pleasures are intensely felt, but also the pain is intensely felt. There isn't really, more often than not, there isn't really a middle ground between those binaries, a nice kind of comfortable middle ground. It's either, you know, ecstasy or torment. And such is the nature, as we know, of my ego cage. And therefore also anything that will take me beyond that. And of course, in the past, a lot of those have been, let's call them sanctioned, culturally sanctioned activities, you know, meditation, learning poetry, learning these 100 poems and reciting them every day, exercise, throwing myself into, you know, cold water, yoga, chanting, you name it, I fucking do it in order to move more into a kind of a non-dualist space. But I also want to use other methods. And as we know, one of those is the green girlfriend. And yes, you were right. You were right. You alluded to it with a little wink when I saw you on the weekend, but you're absolutely right. I have gone back to see the green girlfriend every evening. And it ain't good, because in the binary of intoxicants, you know, I have realized that the only way to probably do it is to be a monk from Monday to Friday. But I mean, literally a monk, to live as monkish as whatever associations you come up with when you think monk, to live that assiduously and stringently and ardently, and maybe even self-punitively, to live it religiously from Monday to Friday. And then Friday night, the shackles of monkhood, because I'm not a monk, I'm very far from a monk. The shackles of monkhood fall away, and then I become just a craven piece of shit sinner. And I mean, you know, there are sins and sins. I think you would maybe hopefully agree, particularly as you are my mother, and so, you know, I would look to you for that kind of kindness. But I guess, you know, if the worst of my sins are having some cannabis on the Sabbath, and maybe even a drink or two, but try and stay away from those. Having some cannabis and some naughty food, you know, it's not like I'm going out raping and pillaging and I don't know, doing anything awful, but that is what the sinner in me wants to do. And of course the sinner in me wants to do that every day, or rather every night. He wants the wine. He wants the wine that will take him beyond these two worlds, the binary of the self. Today we've been given a substance so sweet that to eat it would deliver us from self-consciousness. Again, we are trapped in the self, and we are trapped in the consciousness of the self, and anything that takes us out of that is a blessing. And there are obviously saintly ways to do that, and there are sinful ways to do that. And I do both, and I hate myself for the sinful ways, and I give myself a little pat on the head for the saintly ways. But the little pat on the head isn't love. It isn't love. It isn't love. Because love is not a little pat on the head. Love is the touch of another and the words of another, uttered outside the contractual nature of eros. You do this for me and I'll love you. You do this for me and I'll love you. You do this for me and I'll love you. Outside that contract, it's this fantasy of love, right? The fantasy of love, which I am deeply, deeply entranced by and deluded by in my ego cage. This is the, you know, this is the vision that I wake up to every day, and I look at it and I go, maybe I haven't got it yet. I've been on this planet for 53 years, but maybe maybe just another year or two of keeping on trucking, maybe I'll get that love one day. And of course, God says, the God of psychotherapy, who is the main God in my life, as you know, that God says, don't hold your breath, buddy. You've got to give that love to yourself. The only problem with that is that I am a mortal, carnal human creature, and it's one thing to place your hand and place it in a loving way against your cheek. But it's not the same as getting that from another creature that you have not cajoled into doing that. You have not paid to do that. I could go and pay a sex worker to do this for me. I don't want to pay someone to do it. I don't want to pay someone to do physical labor, physical love labor, or emotional love labor, because that's what psychotherapists are. You pay them to love you. And by love, we mean listen, validate, respect, enjoy those aspects that of your company, of your being, that are enjoyable. Why won't I pay? Everyone else pays. Why do I refuse to pay? Because it's fake, and I want the real thing. Of course, the real thing may not exist, as we know. Maybe the fake thing is as close as we can get. The fake, or the sort of contractually set up love relationship, right? So Natalia loved me. She said it often. And that was because I, for the most part, really tried to maintain the contract that she had drawn up for us. And the contract was I would not annoy her or try and get her attention or try and communicate, particularly communicate, I don't know, some Enneagram 4 bullshit her way during the week. And then she would come over on the weekends, and I would give her lots of love in the form of, self-preservation 9, so in the form of lots of comforting, sensual, indulgent kind of things, lovely pleasant walks in nature and lovely food and touch and just this loving, caring love package. And then she would reward me with the L word. She would pay me by saying the L word a few times over the weekend, and I would feel great. And but I just wasn't able to keep that up. So I lost it. Today will end once more with sleep. Ending thought, ending feeling, ending each and every craving. Some days you wake up and you just go, I so want to be finishing this day. Maybe even today's one of those days. I woke up early. I woke up at about 5-ish, and Max was just kind of nestled in next to me, and really, okay, he can't place a hand on my cheek, but just the warmth of his rump against my shoulder or nestled into me. To me, it's a moment of bliss. To me, it's a moment of love. It's a moment of heaven. And so, you know, I wake up at 5 in the morning, I smile. And then go to the loo and then come back, have a bit more sleep. But then I can't stay in that place. I can't stay in that place, that heavenly, blissful place of love. I have to get up and I have to do this. I have to maintain the idiocy of myself. And some days that's okay, but some days kind of sucks, particularly if you've, you know, gone back to getting a little bit of green love in every evening, which I have. It's not good. What goes up must come down. I'll get there. I'll get there. I can't. There's idiocy and then there's idiocy. I'm working from getting from like capital I idiocy to small I idiocy. Each and every minute of the day, we've been given at least 50 ways to cut loose, to just slip out the back jack. We have. You know, again, I try to be compassionate towards myself and my my various attempts to escape myself by kind of going, well, you and the rest of the world. Good old Gurdjieff, famous line, you know, we're all asleep to ourselves, which is we're all asleep to the fact that we are dying human animals. We are monkeys walking around, living our monkey lives through clothing and language and image and making the right noises and stopping ourselves from making the wrong noises, and status and power and sex and consumption and all the rest of it. And it's just monkey madness, except that the consciousness, the storied consciousness that is telling ourselves what we're up to, is narrating some mythos in which we are gods, in which we are these mythical gods whose lives have this transcendent meaning and purpose beyond just the monkey business of human idiocy. Don't think all ecstasies are the same. Jesus was lost in love for his God, his donkey drunk on barley. Yeah. I've tried, Jesus, I've tried to be lost in love for God. I've tried. But I am also a donkey. I have those two very components very strongly in me. I have the Jesus element, who can just sort of go into a kind of mystical trance. And of course I want to be Jesus. I want to be Jesus so bad. I want to be that. I want to, you know, even maybe on the cross Jesus was able to do that. I don't know. But then I have the donkey, and the donkey's just tied to the post, and he's just waiting. He's just waiting for some barley wine. And I feel for that donkey. I want to give him some of that barley wine too. Drink from the presence of self, not from jars or scars or quick fixes. Every vessel is a moment of delight. Yeah. Be a connoisseur, taste with caution. Any wine will get you plastered. Judge wisely, choose the purest. This is all, I hear in this the god of psychotherapy, you know, speaking, you know. Every vessel is a moment of delight. Welcome your pain and suffering and your torment. They are here to teach you things. Be with them. Enjoy them. And if you can't enjoy them, let them cleanse you, let them break you, be broken by all of these things, and you will emerge like the phoenix from the flames. You will emerge a god. I thought I was a human. I thought I was just a piece of turd. I thought I was just a piece of human shit. No, 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 you will emerge a god. Okay. Judge wisely, choose the purest, the one unadulterated with fear or the four urgent needs of the heart. Drink the wine that moves you, as a camel moves when it's finally been untied from its post and gets to just amble about freely. I wonder what that means. I think in Idiotville, which is to say where this communication is being uttered from, I think what that means is it means allowing myself to untie myself from the post of likes and subscriptions. Because at the moment, I am very keenly aware that the post in Idiotville, and I feel like it's there in the town centre, and it's an actual post, it's a piece of wood that's been hammered into the ground. And on that post is written 382. Now I only know 3 people of that number. Well, 4. You, Rob, Madeline, and I think Rez might have recently subscribed. But I don't think she'll be around for long. So I only know 3 or 4 people, but whatever I'm doing is tied to the post. In other words, every meaningful, even though it might not be the most dashing, interesting, or well-produced of my utterances, every time I try to say something meaningful and I try to communicate that to the me in the future who is lying in his deathbed, and he's like, what was that about? And I'm like, well, it's this. You know what it was about. It's fine. You'll be dead soon. It's fine. It's all good. It's fine. You can let this all go. You can let it all go now. You can let it all go. It's all fine. It was just a dream. It was just a dream. I'm being stopped from doing that for that guy, if that's the guy I'm doing it for. I don't know who else I'm doing it for. I mean, other than you, and you're not going to be around. I'm being stopped from doing that by this number, 382. And what the number is saying to me is it's saying there are utterances that we like and that we will give you a thumbs up for. And the thumbs up in this realm, let's be clear, is love. Love. And that's what that's the primary urgent need of your stupid heart, isn't it, Steve? Judge wisely, choose the purest, the one unadulterated with the fear or the 4 urgent needs of the heart. Yeah, be careful of those 4 urgent needs of the heart. And what are the urgent needs of your heart? Well, meaning, purpose, love, love, love. I can't think of any others. And maybe love covers all of those. Because if I'm if I'm engaged at the moment, as I am with this poem and with you and with talking about it, this is a moment of love. Even if I am being unloving, this is a moment of love. And I am, as usual, in my stupid ego cage, I'm trying to get that love by playing the game that everyone is playing to get the love, which is saying putting the fine cuts on the table, putting the content that you hope people are going to love, even though you discover that love, that thumbs up, even if the thumb is attached to a so-called friend, even if that thumb is attached to a so-called beloved, that it is always contingent on whim and a kind of just insane subjectivity. Because it could be like, yeah, or it could be like, nah. And there isn't really, I mean, you know, I could sit and write something which I hope, you know, I could try and write something funny and interesting and charming and, I don't know, all of those things that good content is about. And yes, it could get me a little bit of that. But from whom? Because what I want is I want this to transfer somehow into this. And that's not going to happen. So I suppose I need to, I don't know, I need to maybe drink the wine that moves me, even though it might move me now and it might not move me in an hour's time. Drink the wine that moves me, put it on the shelf, stop seeing this as a kind of, stop seeing, let's say, this so-called channel as a channel. It's not a channel, it's just a shelf. It's a shelf that YouTube have given me to pour some of my shitty wine into my shitty bottles, or even my lovely bottles, or even lovely wine. Yeah, sometimes it's shitty wine, sometimes it's lovely wine, sometimes it's Grand Cru, and sometimes it's just piss. Pour it into the bottles and put it on the shelves and stop waiting for another human being to come along and give me the old thumbs up. Because I want to be this camel. I want to be this camel. I want to move like this camel when it's finally been untied from its post, from the post of numbers, from the post of 382, and gets to just amble about freely. I don't know what that's got to do with the wine. I don't know what that's got to do with me once more recognizing that I need to buckle down and play saint Monday to Friday. Not for anyone else. Not for anyone else other than myself. I don't know if this has recorded because I don't know, my transmitter receiver thing hasn't been working very well in the last few days, but I hope it has. I think I'm going to try and put my wine, whatever it is. I think I'm just going to put it on the shelf from now on, without the expectation of it being drunk. Maybe some wine is just produced because it's within us, and we put it on shelves, but it's not for sale, which is to say we don't require a thumb or a subscription or anything really. We might appreciate, but then we don't know if this is actually even happening, because of course we don't get some kind of alert. Well, I suppose when you see the view count go from like 0 to 1, then okay, you could potentially imagine that one person has watched a couple of seconds of your attempt to connect to another human being. But I don't even think that those views, I mean, those views could be, it could just be the YouTube algorithm just playing games with you, because it does. You know, I've been on YouTube for a year now, and I've seen the way that algorithm plays games with the people who feed it, and who feed MeTube. So I think I'm going to try that. And while you are alive and compos mentis and able to hear my message, that will be amazing. When you are no longer around, I will use my imagination to imagine someone like you listening. And speaking back to me.